Hello, hello, friends. Good morning, if it's still morning. If not, have a very merry time zone, and if you're watching from the future, greetings from the past. I am going to be playing some Dwarf Fortress today. They had an update that I'm actually very curious about, because I haven't gotten very into the sieges in this game yet. But they've added a whole bunch. They've even changed some of the appearances of things. And I didn't realize they'd done that. I'm kind of excited about it. Like, if I'm gonna be putting up fortifications and stuff everywhere, it's nice that they smoothed it out a little bit. Gave it a little interesting texture. So one of the new things that I know of is that they apparently can tunnel into our place if we have dirt walls like we have here. And we've got smelting and all that set up. It seems that there's even stronger fortifications to be made. Let's see. Reinforced wall. Requires 2 boulder, block, or wood and metal bars. Metal bars is what we're missing, though. It would feel best to get down to magma and use that for the forges, because otherwise we're going to be using a lot of resources in between. But we gotta be a little bit calculated about the digging now. At the same time, we're gonna have to do a lot of digging to get the stuff to make the reinforced walls. So they've made an interesting little math problem with this. Where shall I start? What's everybody so unhappy about? Lack of chairs, water without a well, kept from alcohol. Do we not have any? Yeah, we're running low. I could do with a manager, but if we're gonna have a manager, we gotta have a manager's office. I think this was the floor I wanted for... No, actually... I think I want to go up for a little bit of farming. If I can get it to be below ground by using a tunneling trick, I'll be very happy. Good morning, good morning. Going all right for me. How about you? My allergies are a little less severe today. Gotta appreciate the little things. Oh yeah, they want a temple and a priest. Well, I'm not moving this stockpile for now because it's kind of too useful. Oh shit. The fucking category. Spacing things this morning. Yeah, thank you for that. I'm having trouble coming up with titles. I'll be real. Well, these dwarves still might starve. Of course, the food seems to be fine, but the booze. These dwarves do not do well without their alcohol. They hate water. Oh boy, RPG, simulation. What do you even call Dwarf Fortress? It's so many things. Stream name, let's get drunk in a deep dark cave. You know what, you make a very good point. These dwarves don't have any lights, and they don't seem to care at all. They must have real good night vision. They're really annoyed at the lack of chairs, though. I guess I'll see if we have anything yet. Yeah. I think I set them making stuff. A lot of doors. A lot of pots. Let's get making these. Oh, not the ads. I don't like that they play them so early. It still feels really early in the stream. I don't think I've even unpaused yet. This kind of just is the nature of this game, though. I think I'm gonna carve out a little bit of a worship area for them. I don't want it to be directly across from the tavern, because that seems like it could lead to some weird drama amongst the dwarves, you know. I'm gonna do this front section pretty open, where it's to the general, like, deity that they're... Like, you'll see in a second. We gotta wait for the dwarves to dig out the space first, though. I like that stream name. That is a fun idea. But I feel like Twitch wouldn't realize that it's the dwarves that are getting drunk. I'm just drinking a cappuccino. I'm having my morning coffee. It's not an Irish coffee. Oh, you're used to getting drunk in caves because you do dwarven stuff in Vintage Story. That sounds fun. In basically any game where mining is in existence, I become a dwarf. Like, you might notice it's a little bit of an odd perspective here, because we're kind of seeing a slice of it. But we have a mountainside base. It's not really a mountain, it's more of a hill, but like, give us any elevation to work with, and we're building it into the side of the hill or the mountain. Hard to tell. Vintage Story, I haven't played it myself, but I do have a friend that's really into it. As someone who's tried and failed to draw 2D walking animations, you appreciate the lack of walk cycles. Honestly, it's necessary in this game. Now, they have different speeds, but there's no animation for it, because right now we have 17 dwarves. But a fully functional dwarven fortress, we're gonna get at least 200 people in here. And they won't all be dwarves. Once we've got a little bit more of our defenses set up, we can open up this. This is a tavern, by the way. It might not look like one yet. This is the Bronze Cinnamon. And right now, it's closed to outsiders, like citizens and long-term residents only. So we're a little bit xenophobic right in the beginning, but we need better defenses before we get infiltrated. You'll put the offer out for me or anybody else I know. You work as an admin in a comfy Vintage Story fantasy server. Would love to have people join. You have a Dwarven race as well? That is so fun. I'll have to look more into it, because that's one that I know that my friend wanted me to play. He was trying to get the gaming group into it. It was one of those situations, so... This is the first I'm hearing of, like... fantasy server. It sounds like it's you're going almost like a roleplay route with it if you're doing dwarf things. It sounds like it could be fun. I think the thing that held back the gaming group was that it wasn't on Steam, funnily enough. Ah, the dwarves love their gods of creation. In this game, well, here, the youthful order has many worshippers in Wheel Sound and now requires a temple and priest. The location must be built and furnished with the new position appointed by you. So, looking at our nobles and administrators menu, we have an expedition leader, and we have a broker for trade. We do not even have any kind of ruling structure beyond that. And they're petitioning for a temple and a priest already. Yeah, one can see why they'd want more people there. And yeah, I agree. A lot of... Steam is really, really useful and convenient, but also somewhat limiting in some ways. So I understand the decision to not go with Steam. Where there's free drinks, you will find the dwarves. Alright, I'll let them keep going about their business. I don't know. I don't think I've given them much to do, considering how many people there are right now. We need them digging out more. Oh, this is very generous for housing for dwarves, by the way. I was giving them little 3x3 bedrooms, but then I showed my partner at one point, and she's like, what are you doing to them? Are those the slave quarters? No. There's more space than it looks like. Actually, we can check and see. Why have none of them taken the bedrooms yet? Now, there's only one dwarf per bedroom so far, but they will eventually pair off and marry each other, potentially have several lovers. Depends on the dwarf. But they will eventually have children if everything goes correctly. Oh, good luck with work, yo. Vintage Story has the ability for absolutely anyone to make a mod if you want to try. I love that. Even the server owner is working on a special mod for their server. That's so cool. They've got one bed, they've got smoothed floors, and it's a lot of space. It's a lot of space than they normally get. I will eventually make little cabinets for them and stuff like that. Once they have clothes production going, they'll start throwing their clothes all over the floor. And we'll need to give them something. Alright, we're gonna want floors in here. Oh man, that's gonna take a lot of blocks. We might do the walls first. Alright, so the youthful order. We're gonna have to see... which god does the youthful order worship? Fertility! They want a fertility god temple first. We might see dwarf babies sooner than we thought. They are a little bit of a nightmare, though. There's a youthful order and a youthful sect. Okay, so Shibby the Future is the fertility god that the dwarves like. It won't be every single dwarf in the fortress, but I mean, it's enough of them if they're already asking for one of these. Alright, and now in this back, kind of slightly more private section, it was the youthful order, right? Yes, the youthful order. Just have to make sure, because they're so similar this time. The Chapel of Youth. And the Born Sanctuary. Interesting. Jason Bourne? Bros want chairs and a fertility god. Exactly. Like, now we see why they want the chairs so badly. Alright, now that's made. But we can see the space is not worth very much money yet. 126 currencies for this this little patch of dirt right here. So that is why we are going to want more blocks. We do actually want them making blocks still. We can see if they have any chairs, though. I'm gonna put down the floor kind of as I'm putting down furniture, if I can help it. We'll do just the one strip then. There's the music kicking back in. It's not a very lively inn yet. Dwarf fucks. Alright, that's what we'll call it then. Dwarf bucks. That's basically what it is. It is the currency that the dwarves are using. We can make coins out of the metals. But I don't know if there's a use for that yet. Aw, man. Every time I reload it, I have to click the keep building after placement thing again. Alright, so I'm going to line up the tables there, and then in these blank spaces here, I'm going to put little chests that they'll fill with their mugs. Indirect management. I suppose, yeah. Yeah, because we don't outright control them. Like, the most we can really control them, I would say, is like, if we want somebody to pull this lever, then we can hit pull lever and, in this case, unlock this door. And some dwarf will get the urgent task to pull that lever. Or, like, if we assign a broker, like here, and we need somebody to trade, we can request the broker at the depot. Things like that. I think the combat is probably the most control, actually, come to think of it. But even then, you have to kind of set things up for them, otherwise it doesn't go right. Like, when you set up a squad and send them out, they have to have enough food to make rations out of, and if they have flasks or something like that, they can carry a drink with them, and then they can be out there longer. I think it probably is very similar to that, but it is a lot of detail in this game. Again, it's kind of like, it's like my love of Project Zomboid, where it's the level of detail that they've gone into because they've sacrificed the graphics and stuff like that. Doesn't fix the issue of a dwarf hallway across the fort deciding to take the lever task. Yeah, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. Now, I've seen some really interesting solutions to that, including, like, were creatures. If you have to lock a were creature in a wall, then why not? It's like the Sims 3 problem. House too big. Sims want to use the toilet again on the way from the bathroom to their bed. Yeah. I think the best way to fix that in this game is burrows. Where, like, let's say this dwarf fortress ends up big enough. This is kind of the entrance. We've got animals out here, you know, like the farmers and stuff like that are gonna be going outside often. But eventually we're gonna dig down and down and down, all the way down to magma. And there are gonna be dwarves that are gonna be like underlevel dwarves. Dwarves that never see the sun. Dwarves that if they were to go out in the sun, they would instantly vomit because they're not used to it. They're just not used to the sun. It makes them nauseous now. So, if they want to grab a drink, we're going to have a tavern down there so that they don't have to hike all the way up here to get to this tavern. And the way to stop them from doing that is to limit where they can go with burrows. You can even make it so that they can't grab crafting ingredients from the other zones. So far, I just use burrows to essentially be able to have an alarm call. Like, I make the inside of the base, the secure areas especially, the burrow. And most of the time the burrow is off. But if enemies show up or any kind of event where I would want them to go and take shelter, and then I turn the burrow on. And it's a burrow that includes everybody who lives here. Every dwarf, anybody who joins us, they all take shelter. Alright, we need things of value for the temple that they want. They're gonna want an altar. They're probably gonna want some pedestals. But mostly we need those blocks. I didn't make it a recurring one, did I? Alright. Ah, and the coffers. You usually execute your bitten. That's probably the safest bet. I tend to end up keeping them in the walls of the hospital. Not the best solution. But it kind of just works the best for me in stopping the spread of it. Is I make individual little rooms with bedrooms in the hospital. And then if you put a door on them, then you can literally just seal it just before the full moon. And if there's somebody in the room that was bitten, then they turn all alone in their own little cell, essentially. However, sometimes when there's not enough hospital rooms for the amount of dwarves that ended up messed up, multiple dwarves end up in there, and sometimes it's difficult to get the hospital staff to not be in the rooms. I kind of lock the doors as I go along. It's not good for the people that haven't been bitten. Are just injured, you know, like they got a smashed foot and now the doctor doesn't have access to them. But, well, the were creatures don't care. They heal right up as soon as they transform. Okay. These dwarves are getting better at mining. Smooth everything out. Make it nice. Are these cats, dogs, pigs? All of the above. They changed the little portraits that they have as well. I love it. Yeah, the pigs, they find bugs just all over the floor, so they can be indoors. Now, this is the tavern. They may be happy just because there's so many things around, but also, this is technically a pen/pasture zone. So if any of these creatures try to run out of the tavern, whatever dwarf sees them will immediately bring them back. And a lot of dwarves run past them. How many channel points to name a pig after you? Oh, I love that. This is my first time playing Dwarf Fortress on stream, but I would love to do something like that. I could even name dwarves after people. The dwarves all have personalities. The pigs should too. Oh, this guy has a way with words, but little patience. He has a way with words, yeah. He very rarely develops negative feelings towards things. Doesn't go out of his way to help others. He tends to think before acting. He does not often feel lustful. He tends to form only tenuous emotional bonds with others. He tends to avoid crowds. Though he doesn't like being in the tavern. Do I have a zoo ball? That's a good point. How do we know this much about this guy? We found him, the cultured swine. He values craftsmanship. Sees friendship as one of the finer things in life. Believes that honesty is a high ideal. Greatly respects artists and their works. Really respects those that take the time to master a skill. Deeply respects those that work hard at their labors. Respects fair dealing and fair play. I think we found the cultured swine. He finds nature somewhat disturbing. Well, it's a good thing he's an indoor pig then. What else can we know about him? We don't know his thoughts. There's that. We don't know his thoughts. We also have a clumsy pig. Oh, this one we can tell its thoughts. The other one, just the cultured swine, doesn't have it. He doesn't have any thoughts. Oh, this is the one. We bought this one from the traders. So he was thinking about how he had been in a cage when they were transporting him. And he felt free when we released him. He felt repentant. What did he do? Maybe it's because he's clumsy. Oh. Great feel for social relationships and very good intuition, but he has little willpower and an iffy sense for music. Do you think he ate something he wasn't supposed to eat? Oh, he's given to rough and tumble brawling and has little willpower. He was starting fights for no reason. That's what this one was doing. He tends to be a little tight with resources when working on projects. Hey, alright. Good pledge, good pledge. I should add a point thing for naming in-game creatures after people. Which pig would you like, the hothead or the cultured swine? The hothead. He felt repentant. You're no wise, swine. I feel like these two remind me a little bit of the meme of the do not eat those oats. Oh. Why is it not showing? Stray Genghis Karen. Okay, that works. He also finds nature a little bit disturbing. He lives a fast-paced life. We could make it so that he's available to be a pet. One of the dwarves might adopt him. Others of his culture, yes. Yes. Like others in his culture, he holds craftsmanship to be the highest ideals. Celebrates talented artisans and their masterworks. He has a great deal of respect for the law, but He's given to rough and tumble brawling, even to the point of starting fights for no reason. It's interesting. He's trusting and he enjoys the company of others, but he has a tendency to go it alone without considering the advice of others. These pigs should be the ruling council, honestly. What a pair. Hello, Sheikah. How goes it? We're learning about our tavern animals. Writing your will out. Why? Why this time? Oh, you know what I didn't do? May have screwed myself over this time. We're in early winter. I think we may have made food out of the booze, which is not good for the dwarves. You're off tomorrow, alright. Got like a few days left in WoW, we've got League, and we've got plenty of other stuff to play. Give water needs actual water, yeah. Yeah, there's certain things that we needed to set up the well for that we can't now. I may need to reload. We'll see. Give him Red Bull filtered coffee. I don't think we're gonna get another trade caravan. Man, this is all what happened the first time too. I forget to set it so that the kitchen doesn't use drinks as part of the food prep. You wouldn't think that the dwarves would do that, considering how much they like the booze, but maybe they like eating it that much too. Above caverns is a good bet. I think digging probably is our best bet. Because we will find water in caverns, but we're not very well prepared for that either. We did buy a handful of weapons from the trader. This is Dwarf Fortress, yes. There they are. You need grates for the waterways or a crocodile eats your dwarven children. That is a very important one to learn as well. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever screen shared it. It's crazy the amounts of stories that come out of this game. Okay, so I think what we'll do, we will set up a small squad. Just because we need something. It would be a shame to lose people at this point in the game. Like, we're too early on to lose people, really. I'm gonna assign more plant gatherers. Since we're good on the mining right now. They might find something still. This area doesn't seem to be too terrifying for them as far as the wildlife, so I'm just gonna send them kind of everywhere. They will let me know if they run into anything. Yeah, we've got a hen. We've got some dogs and cats. We've got some ducks. Let's see, what else? What do we have down here? We've got a horse, a ewe, although this one has already been named because it's somebody's pet. Got an alpaca. And we've got a named rabbit. Hey, we got a yak bull too. Hentia. Well, so far we just went with 100 channel points, wasn't it? Yeah, highlight my message thing. That was the pledge. Stray alpaca. I'm back in this bowl. Is that the name? I don't think I've done that before. Oh, it's under the, Well, for me, I click the bits and channel points thing. And then it shows power-ups and my rewards. Okay, the final boss is gonna be the name. You'll figure out the highlight text. All the animals are gonna get named if I don't limit it somehow. The faunal alpaca. Yes, let's look at this personality. I love the level of detail. Like, even, like, all of the animals have personalities. This one is frail. She's annoyed when caught in a snowstorm. She's annoyed when caught in the rain. We might need to build them a little shelter. A little bit of a barn. They're not very happy. She has great analytical abilities and the ability to focus, but she has little linguistic ability and a poor ability to manage or understand social relationships. It's the highlight text one we used. The highlight my message thing. You're pretty sure the animals having personality is a thing that only happened after version 50. Okay. So it took them a while to implement, but I absolutely love that they all have personalities. I would like it if they would make it so that I can heal them, because currently when the animals get injured, we can't, like, bring them into the hospital. It also might be a bug or a feature. This game is big on that. Is it a bug or a feature? And no, I'm not using that right now. Here we go. She generally finds herself quite hopeful about the future. She's moved by art and natural beauty, and she's troubled by this since she dislikes the natural world. These outdoor animals do not like being outdoors. Doesn't mind being outdoors, at least for a time. Yeah, they want a little barn. That's what they want. Ooh, it has an option to turn healing animals on. I'm not sure, yeah. I might look into that at some point because, yeah, even just for the ability to heal animals, that would be nice. I'm not sure. Okay, come on. It's this down here that shows. Oh, come on. Let me do it. There. It was flashing both. But it's the bottom one that shows up here when we select it. So I'm just changing both. We know what animal that is. We can look at it. It's really a T-Rex in disguise. I believe it. I believe it. This one is tough. They're tough. Let's see, do we have any memories or thoughts? No. Uneventful life for this head. She has a very good intuition and a good memory, but she has poor focus, little willpower, little patience, and a poor ability to manage or understand social relationships. So some similarities to the final alpaca. Alpaca. Why is that one hard to say for me? Damn. The menace of the Isle of Chicken Conquest. Wait, okay, this one is a T-Rex in disguise. Look at her. She likes to brawl. She takes offered help and gifts without feeling particularly grateful. She doesn't mind wearing something special now and again. She wants a hat, I guess. She has a tendency towards forming deep emotional bonds with others. She's moved by art and natural beauty, and she's troubled by this since she dislikes the natural world. We need to dig into the caverns so that we can bring the grazing animals inside. She generally acts impartially and is rarely moved to mercy. Oh, this one isn't like you, though. She has little interest in joking around. Yeah. She isn't particularly ambitious. Huh. Yeah, she's not interested in joking around, yeah, like... It's just... Yeah. We haven't claimed any of the nest boxes, so we don't have eggs yet. Do I want to dig down? I guess I can make my little squad. Oh. Interesting. This is different. I try not to put vital people in these groups, but the group is so small right now that, like, I'm gonna avoid the broker. Because he's our appraiser. We don't really have another one of those. It's not nice to put these craftsmen in there, though. If they mess up their hands, they're gonna have a tough time making stuff for us. Alright, so they should grab some weapons at some point. Arm themselves with whatever we have laying around, which isn't much right now, but... The final podcast! We're midwinter and nobody's died yet. I think we can make it through. Alright, there. Now they won't cook with it. At least that kind. We gotta go through all the different kinds as they make it. And we need 10 more beds. I should probably make a manager's office. It really wouldn't be hard. They don't need much space. Think... Just put it right up here for now. We can name the dwarves as well, yeah. No special plans thus far for siege defenses, other than we're building into something with a little bit of height, so as we move up, I can add, you know, like little slits for the siege weapons and archers. Apparently the archers, like the ranged squads, are a lot better than they used to be. Well, technically, as far as the canon of this game goes, we as the players are one of the dwarven gods. Or at least it's heavily implied that we are. Because something you can do in this game, when you give up a fortress, so you leave them to their own devices, you're not disbanding them, you're just leaving them to pick up where you left off on their own. And it says that they've gotten over a brief bout of madness when you do so. Armok, yeah, I think that is. I wasn't remembering the name, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's extremely heavily implied that in this game you are some form of deity. A player actually exists within the canon of this game, and I love it. But yeah, so far I'm trying to wall in everything as I go along. It's taken a little bit because we need a lot of blocks for this. But all of the dirt floors and stuff like that, they're gonna end up being a problem for us. If they come along and they can dig through them. I'm using the default settings right now as far as the world goes. So I'm not expecting it to ramp up very fast. But we'll see. Alright, I'm going to stop them making tables because we don't need all that many Oh, they changed the look of the coffers. I love that. What are our neighbors? Let's just have a look. Center on Fort. We do have plenty of neighbors. But we're staying low key right now. Like, I put us here knowing that I wanted to explore the siege stuff. So we're definitely in a risky place. But we can actually get away with a lot as long as we stay low-key for a while. Like, I have not opened this place up. Or at least we could. Yeah, there's lots of pits. I feel like once we get rolling, it won't feel like that many. But it depends on the changes on the offense as well. I think we got enough crafts for now. That's gonna fill up pretty quick. We want to make a well, so we're gonna need several things, really. Yeah, see, this is what I figure. For now, it's fine. We just gotta do it as we go along. We gotta make sure to keep up with it. Just hope undead haven't gotten the new stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I think the undead will be a pain. But also, I know that they wanted to work on the magic stuff as well, but I'm not sure how much they've done that they wanted to. You don't want to see a pickaxe zombie ever? Yeah. Yeah, same. Same. I'm wondering just how much it's changed. Because there's so many little tricks that they work until they don't. This is new music. I like it. It worried me at first. I'm like, what's going on here? Music in this game is incredible. I'm loving the blocks. I didn't use the blocks for a long time because I figured, you know, that one of my biggest issues is stockpiles. There's never enough stockpile space, and I don't like using the cheaty methods for stockpiles. I don't know, I'm okay with glitchy stuff in some areas, but the eternal stockpile, I can't stand, really. It just bothers me, the idea that my dwarves are putting literally everything in the fortress in one block. Just in a pile. That's already going up in value. All it needs is floors. It's like a stuff drawer everyone has at their house. Yeah. Yeah, that's the vibe. I don't like that being the storage system. I want them to smooth it out before I put furniture down in there. Just to like it more as an office, and also if they fall asleep in there, because dwarves do have a habit of just kind of passing out wherever they are. They like smooth floors better for passing out on. It makes them less unhappy. On the hoarder versus minimalist scale, ooh, somewhere in between, probably. It really depends on, you know, I feel like perspective is big on this, because I'm definitely not a minimalist. But also, I have family that, I lived with family who were hoarders. So I also have an aversion to certain things. Like, if there isn't a clearly defined path in a house, you know? Like, if the hallway is so taken over with stuff that there's no longer a path, then it does negative things to my brain. So I try to keep it under control, but also stuff. There's just stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I got, I cleaned up my grandma's house, who is one of the hoarders, and she had some good stuff in there. So I saved a bunch of it, and getting rid of it is a process. So that's kind of just something I've had to get used to, like, well, the stuff is just there until I can get rid of it. I think the biggest thing is I moved several times when I was a kid as well. So I didn't like that there were boxes that just never got unpacked. Like, there was full boxes full of stuff that I had no idea, nobody had any idea what we had, because we never used it. It's like, why do we have it? Yeah. You build a dorm so your homeless dwarves don't do that. It's a good bet. Yeah. It makes them happier on average. And not having to build rooms early is nice. I do find it easier to do it as I go along. Because, like, if I do make a dorm, then it's a lot too easy to just expand the dorm. And keep them kind of happy, but not really happy. Plus, if I show it to my partner, she will accuse me of doing terrible things to the dwarves. Cruel and unusual conditions. Expedition leader can be the manager. Hoarder houses are like actual nightmares. Yeah. Yeah. The amount of mold that you find places that you weren't expecting to find mold, mostly. Luckily, my grandma wasn't, for the most part, she wasn't the type to keep organic matter. It was just like canned goods and stuff like that. The freezer was horrible. Somehow she avoided most bugs. I think it's because there were mice in the basement. My cat loved that a little too much. She didn't eat the mice, thankfully. But she did like to leave them places. Oh, there was something I was doing. Oh, yeah. Gotta make sure they're not cooking with all the booze we have now. River spirits. Moths. Yeah. There were a lot of, that is one thing. Bugs, mostly the bugs weren't bad, but there were these little white moths that managed to get everywhere. Just everywhere. She did, my grandma really liked clothing. And this is one thing I respect about her. the reason she ended up getting a job, because she had a husband with an engineering job and stuff like that, it wasn't necessarily expected of her to get a job. But she decided that she really hated having like an allowance for buying clothes because she wanted more clothes. She was a fashionable lady. So she ended up working as a nurse. Literally just because she wanted to be more fashionable. She was sick of having an allowance, you know? But yeah, she did end up with a little bit of a problem with the amount of clothes that she got. Like, the basement with the clothing. Okay, so she had one of those houses where, from the top floor, you could drop the clothing down a chute, and it would end up next to the washing machines and stuff like that, which, I don't know, a level of convenience, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But also, the bottom part of it was completely full. Like, piled up. It's not the ones you're expecting to be a nightmare. It was like between that and the garage on which one was worse. Okay, so how much is this worth now? 600. I think if we could keep going along replacing stuff, then we'll be alright. When I replace this line, then I'll put down the altar for them. They'll be even happier. Old PC towers. Oh man. Yeah, she wasn't big on technology. Like she was older. But also she had one of those old TVs, like the big round ones. That thing was heavy. I had stopped watching TV. Like I watch stuff online. I don't really watch TV anymore. So I didn't realize how many ads she had to deal with until I was like around her while she was watching. TV is mostly ads now. Like at least unless something's changed. I'm guessing it's only gotten worse. Oh, he's going in here to eat his meal alone. I like to dress well. Feels empathy discussing a friend's problems. He was cried on by an unhappy citizen. Okay, so at least the expedition leader enjoys being cried on by people. Because everybody's going to be going to them with their problems now that they have an office. Depends on the channel, fair. She did like her sports. At least they aren't yelling at him. Yeah. Yeah, you always gotta watch out for hot-headed characters in the, noble and administrators roles. They can make people feel worse when they go to them with problems. Ah, we gotta do more digging. Fair enough. Oh, we're missing one door. That's alright, there's not enough people to use up all these rooms anyway. I don't even know what sports she enjoyed. The only sports I've ever watched were esports. And that was when I was really into Overwatch and really into League of Legends at one point. And the reason I was into League of Legends was because I was playing on a team with some friends. We could dig out more rooms, or we could keep digging down. We do have a little squad of people. So we could get away with this. Sinatra, yep. Yup. I remember his whole drama. The big rooms. Are you talking these? Or just like them having big rooms? It's mostly just to make them happier. To be honest. I've given them big rooms because whenever I show my partner my Dwarf Fortress world, and I haven't given them decent sized rooms like that, she accuses me of communism and such things, you know? Yeah. But not good communism, you know? I figured there's enough space in the mountain. Interrogations. This is the office of the manager. Your forts look like gulags compared to this. Yeah, mine used to. Mine used to. If you shift click while you're scrolling, then you go down more than just one layer. And I have and I haven't enjoyed that when digging down. Because if you end up in a cave, then it can be kind of awkward, depending on how many levels you've set for them to dig down. Office of the manager looking like that. It does sound like a mafia euphemism. The dwarves just... I don't know what you're talking about. They went to the office of the manager. We ain't got nothing to worry about. Well, that was a quick meeting. Oh, he yelled at him. Didn't feel anything while he was yelling either. Oh, she felt empathy while being yelled at. She felt satisfied upon improving lying. She felt satisfied after conducting a meeting in a fantastic setting. That right there, that office, that's fantastic. That's what smoothing the floors gets you. Alright, let's see. What do they dig into? We're in early spring, so we're okay as far as water goes. We don't necessarily have to do this, but it would be good to get down a bit, start finding stuff. We would love some magma. Not having to do the whole, making fuel for smelting and smithing song and dance is kind of preferable. Now, there might actually be caverns on one of these levels that we just haven't dug to the side enough for. Meat, none. Oh no, we've got fish. Like eight fish. Ah, we only have the one fisherman going, I think. Yeah. Oh, who else wants to be a fisherman? Metal crafter, you can do it. Using coal instead of magma just to piss off the elves. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been going for that, but it is technically an option. Technically. We've got abundant resources in this world. As you can see, it's kind of just everywhere. Hematite. What else we got? We got native platinum. Yeah, we got some good resources here. And the walls of the office is limonite. You grew up 1,000 miles from the nearest body of water. Your body naturally rejects seafood. I was born in California, and I still don't like seafood, so I get you. No justification needed. I get you. I'd like them to keep it to one type of block. It doesn't seem that we actually have access to any because our stockpiles are full though. And we're getting different resources down here. Alright, I'm just gonna have them dig out more. Let's have a stockpile. We need a stockpile floor. Now over here is where we're gonna end up making our well and our hospital. It's gonna end up being on the residential there. You're okay with sushi, but not at the usual price of sushi. Honestly, understandable. Understandable. I feel like they're kind of overcharging for what it is. Let's be real here. Waterfall could definitely be possible. Something that I like to do in the taverns. I think we're close enough to the surface here that we could do a water feature in the taverns. That one's a little bit more complicated, so I'll wait on that for now, just because we want the well first. We want the useful things first, you know. I got myself another coffee because it's one of those mornings. It has been so snowy here. Has me wanting to hibernate. The bear part of my name will become more apparent. The amount of channel points that you have, every freaking chicken here will be Karen one day. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I will have to actually make it an option on there. I think that's really fun because there's all kinds of games that we can name stuff in too. Pretty sure I can name the chickens in Stardew as well. Oh boy, they're already making different kinds of blocks. Alright, we have them digging out a storage section. We attracted no migrants. That's actually kind of a good thing this time. In Zomboid. I don't know if we can name things in Zomboid. We will have to see. Alright, for now, this will have most everything on it. Just not food. It would either... If I name every chicken after a chatter, then what will Martina eat? Which chatter? You know what? That does make things more interesting, doesn't it? I usually mute for my nose. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sick of being sick. Anybody who gives me sass. You know what? I'm eating your chicken. That's it. At a certain point, I would have to roll the dice to see who does today. If we pause it while we're adding that task, then we can choose which material they're using for these blocks. We want to stay consistent, at least for a little bit, at least for the top floor. I kind of like the purpley. That's your chickens gone. If we end up with enough animals in this, we are gonna have to cull them. Plus, if we want meat. Because if we find creatures just around the map, then I'd rather capture them and tame them. Add them to our group. Alright, it was a well that I wanted to work on. So what we're gonna need for this, I kind of want to line it up. Okay, so... two over. Then once somebody digs that up, it'll become much more clear what's going on. Coffee's still hot. Let's see. We have one overjoyed person. Who's the very happy person? The gem setter. Why are you so happy? I need some more excitement in my life is what they're thinking currently, and yet they are the happiest person in the fortress. Was enraptured remembering performing the rites of the youthful order in a dedicated temple. So they like the new temple, even though it's not worth very much yet. He's happy because he has drink. He's blissful after sleeping in a great bedroom. Annoyed after having to have a drink without a mug or a cup or a goblet. Okay, so the great bedrooms are actually they're helping happiness. They're happing our dwarfs. Low standards. He's like, I need more excitement in my life, but I'm honestly having a great time. I've got drink. I've got a nice flat bedroom. Alright, now that we have a manager, we can do work orders. So, things that we were doing continuously before, like rock pots, we can do in a sensible way, once I remember who makes the rock pots. Okay, so if the amount of empty large rock pots is less than 10, and there's enough boulders, then they shall make rock pots. We could keep them producing things like beds and stuff like that too. Still an hourglass, okay. How much do we want, really? Less than... Let's make it 100 for now, because we want to do the top floor. But we are going to want the dolomite for other kinds of crafting as well. We just have it in kind of excess right now. I hate when the music goes quiet. Why is it quiet in the fort? Guess I'm just not used to there being so few doors. Today, the power at your house went out and you had to trudge through the snow to a coffee shop to work there. Oh, man. Yeah. I hate the winter. I didn't used to hate the winter. But man, the cold has become so much less tolerable. Some of that is that I'm living somewhere that gets quite cold now. And I wasn't for most of my life, so I'm maybe not completely used to that. But there's a huge outage that you needed to fix, yeah. See, outages in the winter? That's so scary to me. We've got buzzards stealing our foraging stuff. There's only one guy in the fort that's kind of going, I don't know how I feel. Let's see, we could set up a farmer. I think the animals would like a little bit of an indoor area anyway. But I kind of want to bring them inside when we hit the caverns. Where you live, heating depends on power. Yeah. See, that's what I would expect in most places in the US, at least. As well. Probably not all. I imagine that there's some... Like, kind of depends on if you have a fireplace as well. That's how I always aim in Zomboid, at least. In Project Zomboid, if a house doesn't have a fireplace, then it won't last through the winter. Because in Zomboid, the power goes out in, like, you don't have any temperature control. This will be our temporary spot for the farmer. Could set the house on fire? Yeah. Yeah. 'Tis a risk. 'Tis a risk. I don't think that we have any animals that can be milked yet. But we'll still check monthly if there's any animals that can be milked. What else? What else? Shear animal. We'll check that as well. Still remembering all the little things in this game that I would get going early on. Alright, here we've dug. We'll bring it about there, and then we will... I want to have a nice big hospital. We'll do this section, and then we'll have, like, little isolated pod bedrooms off of it. And then it will lead to the well area. Alpacas, not like camels. You've had camel milk before. Maybe the final boss alpaca can be milked. Maybe. I think a lot of the animals that, like, you would expect to be able to. Oh, is he shearing that one, or? Okay, he's shearing the ewe. You. But not you. I think you could even milk, like, the horses and stuff like that. Not the males. This one male or female? This one is female. So the final alpaca, maybe. Maybe. We'll probably be able to shear them at the very least. Because they are woolly. And then we can finally finish off this space. We need a door. I think we should always have a certain amount of doors available. Fair. Very fair. I mean, these dwarves, they gotta eat whatever they've got. Let's just check if the kitchen is using any of the booze again. Alright, we're good. This is what I needed to set up. Okay. We don't actually want to limit them yet because we don't have very much stuff. But eventually we will want to limit the amount of stuff they're making. Just not yet. Definitely not with 10, more like 1,000. Once we have the storage for it. I think you did say that, yeah. You said it was very sour, I think. I don't know what an alpaca's milk would taste like, but I figure the purpose of milk is pretty much the same, as long as it's actually milk. It's gonna be pretty nutrient dense. Crazy sour and often alcoholic. Okay. That is quite a combo. Looks like there is something that we can milk. Who's being milked? We haven't seen yet. Let's see. Ah, we did! The final alpaca was milked. The final milk. You don't want to be exposed as a DJ, no? We will. We'll have to let him know. I wonder, we can make cheese out of it, probably. Let's make cheese. Oh, we don't have enough milk to make cheese yet. We will. We will. But for now, we can put down... Let's see, we got an offering place for them. We've got... Do we have displays for them? There we go. There we go. This place will be nice soon enough. This is a wholesome stream. It shall not be polluted. See, I keep wanting to add floors everywhere, but I have to finish this temple for them or they're going to be very disappointed. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. I might want to get them more wheelbarrows. Let's see, it was 15 and 12. Sandy over here. That may be a problem. We can add some supports. Just in case. The one super happy dwarf loves the empty room temple. True. Oh, they're even happier now. It's the gem setter again. He's just overjoyed all the time. Uneasy after being unable to pray. He likes Shibby the Future. Okay. He actually is part of that one. Yeah. The first thing that these dwarves petitioned me for was a temple to their fertility god. And now that I've accepted it, they're going to be really upset if I don't finish it. And if I didn't accept it in the first place, they would have been so sad. Bunch of depressed-ass dwarves. You see, they're uneasy, unable to pray to them for too long, and there's a temple in the fortress. The description for this one... Let's see. Shibby the Future here. I'll have to do this again. Pretend like I'm making a temple here. So, Shibby the Future, it just says fertility. 14 worshippers out of our 17 dwarves in the fortress. The youthful order is they worship Shibby the Future, fertility, that's it. They just wanted to worship their fertility god. Bro is 61 years old. To be fair, that's 61 for a dwarf. He still has a while to go. They do want some mugs. Let's get the craftsman on that. You know what? No. I want a specific amount of them. Let's go with 20 to start with. Actually, we've got about 20 dwarves here. Let's start with 30, because we will eventually open that place up. And eventually we'll get more dwarves too. Found some amethyst, apparently. And then over here... And you know what? You guys can move around a little bit more. Go ahead, beg the people for food. They make 3 per order. That's a good point. That's not how it used to be. Okay. Then yeah, let's make 10. See how many I end up with. We can sell them. We've got a caravan. If we end up with extra, we can always sell them. And also, it's kind of fun to only sell the shitty ones, so you end up with a bunch of really nice mugs. But yeah, it didn't used to actually indicate how many it made. Lots of little improvements. Also, the Dolomite crowns look different. Yeah, I spaced that, and then I'm like, wait, I was just looking at it. It didn't used to say make 3 rock mugs, or like make 4 blocks and stuff like that. It just said make blocks. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not used to that. Even though I read it, I just completely spaced that. Lots of little improvements I'm noticing already, and I'm very happy to see it. It's like managing a Minecraft server a little bit, yeah. Because I'm not the one playing. Just sending out work orders and stuff, getting them organized. Everyone is an alcoholic, but that's just Minecraft once you get a tavern down. The dwarves genuinely do get so upset if you only have water. They're so not okay with it. We'll take some instruments. We'll take a llama. They've got some sheep's milk, and they have some camel milk. We'll take it. Make some cheese. How much we got to work with here? Not enough for weapons. Well, we could grab a mace. Most of their clothing is too big for the dwarves. But if we ever recruit any humans, we'll want to buy from them. They have meat. We're not gonna get any of that until we start killing our animals. They have the meats. Okay, fine. We'll let go of one of the instruments. But I want more stuff. Okay, okay. You don't like me as much. They'll definitely accept that, but let's push it a little. Nah. Fine. We'll take the one instrument. They get pissy if they don't have a choice of alcohol, too. Absolutely. If it's all the same stuff, then gets old. It gets old fast. How are we doing on this? Nearly there. I think we get the walls in and that place is probably done. At least until they want an upgrade. Alright, did we end up with the animal? There we have llama. How we doing on our hospital area? Looking good, just putting off a few things, huh? Alright, we are going to need just one thing. Pipe section, that's what it was. Pip. That is what we need. All we need is a pip. Jewel Setter's still just happiest guy in the land. I wonder if he just has a really good temperament or something. Sharp intellect, a lot of willpower, very good intuition, and good kinesthetic sense. But a shortage of patience, poor creativity, and very little linguistic ability. Often feels lustful. I wonder if that's why he's so happy. Sometimes they are just like very good temperament. Because look at this. Most of it is not in the green. But he only needs some of those needs met to be happy. And that is especially dependent on what he values and how generally happy he is. Like, some of them are just bad-tempered in general, and they'll basically always be unhappy. No matter what you do, they choose to be unhappy. Dark Triad dwarves, true. The dwarven children are some of the worst. Their tantrums are legendary. Although, I had a dwarf child at one point that was like that. Like, they had a lot of traits that I was keeping an eye on like that, where I'm like, ooh, oh, that's kind of a terrifying little dwarf right there. And he was always mad, always having a tantrum. And then one day he was inspired to make something on the bone crafting table. He made a bone bin. He killed a dwarf and he made a bone bin. This is after a horrible quest that I had to partake, just to try to get rid of all of the bins in the fortress, and the little fucker. What does he make? I love how fast they move with the blocks. Like, it just streamlines construction so much. You used to have them lugging the boulders around. The serial killer moods, yeah. I'm forgetting right now what it was as well. See you around. Have a good one, friend. And I'll be working on not being sick. Another bot selling viewers. It's amazing they last so long. Let's see. Which one was it? Oh, it's just because there's a digging task down there. That's why it's displaying that. I think. Strange. Oh, yeah. Last night I got to bed mostly because it was so cold and I wanted to be cozy and warm. You're always surprised people actually use what? The blocks? Or the viewer bots? Oh, yeah. I'm kind of amazed people do too. That's kind of dumb. I know Twitch has done a lot to combat that. But also, it just kind of doesn't seem productive. Dwarves can reach diagonal, yeah. Yeah, they can actually, like, if I take out this block right here, they can go through here. They can squeeze through it. Yeah. Yeah, it can lead to some really awkward situations where they end up trapped inside of the walls, though. Why does it remind you of RimWorld? RimWorld might be a little bit based off of it. Dwarf Fortress is kind of an OG of this style of game. They've been adding to it for a long time. This is not how Dwarf Fortress used to look. I know this much. Alright, so we can get our well building. Then whenever they're done with this digging project, I think I'm gonna make that a higher priority so they'll just get it over with. I'd like to finish up this well. Hey, Priesthood of the Youthful Order is ready to be recognized. We can add a priest to here now. And that will be satisfied. Sacred Bud. They have a Sacred Bud. Now, I imagine that's like flowers or something like that, but... Buddy... You still play classic and it's not that bad, really? I imagine I'd have an easier time of it now that I've seen what things are trying to represent. But initially, I had trouble telling what I was looking at with the version of it that's just characters on the screen, like characters like that you could type, you know, like letters on the screen. It is a bit of a freaky cult. I think I'm gonna add the Flatterer and Consoler as the sacred bud. Seems like a buddy thing to do. We will limit them eventually, but today is not that day. We can sell some food if need be, as long as it's not to the elves. Selling food to the elves always gets too complicated. We are not vegetarians here. They are using the nest boxes finally. It is a little bit of a freaky cult, yeah. They also get offended by barrels, yeah, so this is why we have rock pots. They don't like it when we cut down trees because they think they have souls, but they don't care if we cut down mushrooms, even though there's mushroom people that come up from the caverns. They're clearly people. If anything has souls, it's the mushrooms, but the elves don't care about them. They care for mushrooms too, but they don't get mad if we chop them down. They just don't like bins, huh? Bins and barrels. They're like, reminds me of the ghost of a tree. It counts as chopping trees. I haven't experienced them having issues with me chopping down the mushrooms. That's strange. If it does count as chopping trees. Because that's how I resolved it in one of my saves. They were getting pissed at me for cutting the above ground trees. I wonder if it's just that they didn't see me chopping the mushrooms down. And they didn't see the, like, bedrooms with beds made of wood from the mushrooms. They're really just trying to monopolize the trade, aren't they? They just want you to buy theirs. They're like, when we grow the trees, there's no problem with that. It's completely different than when you chop the trees down. See, we raised those trees specifically to be chopped down. Like livestock. Is it just because it's too far away? Why are we not going down there? These slopes should be working. Can we go to war with the elves? We could. We could. I often do. Oh, it's because of where I've put the, these. Got you, got you. I left the wrong one open for them. Wow, that block is still there, though. Oh, wait. We've already got water in there. Is this just gonna fill itself now? Oh, that's hilarious. I was making a well and I dug into the aquifer. That kind of just works now. Alright, while nobody's down there, let's just add that. Interesting. See, I was just gonna bring water in from the river. Bring me animals. Just bring me all of the animals. All of them. I want all of the animals. That's the one thing that being friends with the elves kind of helps for. You don't have to raid them for all their animals. You can trade. But also, if you end up at war with the elves, then you can just steal their animals. Now, I haven't had this situation where the aquifer is combining with the well like this. It's entirely possible that we lose our well water into the aquifer if we fill it up like we intended to. But the aquifer seems to be coming to us for now. I'm kind of inclined to see how much this fills up. So I don't think that it'll spill over into this area. It's kind of spinning down there. Either way, I expect to have to refill the well. It's just a matter of how fast it drains, you know? These poor fish are about to end up in the well. Looks like it is continuing to fill up down there, so let's just see. We somehow avoided getting fish in there. Good job, fish. It's probably going to be moving around like that for a little while as it settles. But we have an operational well now. Start working on the hospital. That support is on sand. And I cannot build under it. That kind of makes sense, but also... I'm pretty happy running an experiment with a well like this. It's easy enough to refill, and if we absolutely have to, we can let it run dry and just cover that bottom section with a floor. Makes the well a little bit smaller, but... we are fine, we are fine. Now we have water. Even if we completely run out of booze. Nobody super unhappy. Oh yeah, they wanted to trade. Do we even have anything built up yet? We've got some mugs. I'm gonna see if they have anything first. They've got logs. We wouldn't have to chop down trees. They have a rabbit and a cow. I do actually kind of want that. We'll trade some goblets for that. We can remake them. Should have gotten them making crafts again after the humans showed up to trade. Crafty. New rock crafts. Because of where the elevation is in the lower levels, we're actually not super far down. Digging too deeply and too greedily is the downfall of many a dwarf fortress, though. Yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead. We asked them for, like, all of the animals anyway. They'll bring us stuff. The issue was at hand. You watched a scary video and it made you jump. Forgot your digestive tract was mid-shift. All the employees tried to go on break at the same time. Well then. Alright, we're doing decent as far as food and drink. We've got a bunch of seeds built up for when we decide to plant stuff. What we really need is magma. Could set up the water feature at some point. We've got the well going. It's been almost a week since you got sick. I'm not sure. Yeah, I really have no idea. Oh no, the will. I see what you mean. You've been working on your will still, huh? Alright. I think I need to stop for the day. Gotta make sure that I don't get sicker, I only get healthier. The bugbear must hibernate. But it has been fun. I'm happy so many people showed up for Dwarf Fortress. This is one of my favorite games, but I don't spend much time on it anymore. I have less than 1,000 hours, but still in the couple hundreds. Let's see. I have 309 total hours in Dwarf Fortress. So I'm no pro. I'm not blind here. But I have a lot of fun with this game. Thank you, thank you. At least the allergies have stopped a little bit today. Yes, thank you all once again for such a wonderful stream. And I hope to see you again soon, friends.